top of the morning. Always nice to start the morning with a coffee. So I just want to say in regards to the situation I was in yesterday, if you were going to go up for a first time, or even if you've been a couple of times but you're still kind of finding your feet in the wild, or just going out being in nature or climbing mountains, whatever it be, I would advise definitely taking a monocular and a whistle. This whistle I have a few extra features with it. There we are, I can get it out. So this magnifying glass, really good. I can set fires with this. I can do all sorts with this little magnifying glass. A lot more helpful than you think. Even to get splinters out of my hand. It's been very helpful for me, sorry, this one has. The thermometer on the back, rarely use that, and I rarely use the compass. I do an occasional reading, maybe every few kilometers or something like that, but usually I prefer the element of being in the wild and not knowing my route. I just know where I want to start from, where I want to finish, and then wherever in between. But I would definitely advise anyone else to take one of those. The main thing though is the whistle. So if you are stuck, last night, great example, if it's getting dark, if you try shouting, nobody's going to hear you. It's better that you can use a whistle. It just cuts straight through the plains. You've got a lot better chance, if something does go bad, of being found, rescued, whatever the case may be. Got a bit of light. Let me show you around. So a nice large bench. Got a little kind of storage area there. Got this little one. This big one. If I just put my coffee down, I can show you upstairs. Just this little sleeping area. It was actually really warm. It was a really nice night. Really pleasant. The only thing I would say is the door rattled quite a bit, so I woke up a couple of times thinking, who's that coming to join me? But nobody did. What is all this junk you see before me? Well, most of it's from what I used yesterday. A couple of things like the tin foil and a ring to a can I got from in here. And basically I just want to show you a couple of examples of what you can do, how you can use things in other ways. So we'll start with a little end bit of a candle. Brilliant. I can use this, I can melt it, I can put it around something to make it waterproof. I can obviously use it, as you've seen me in other videos, to start a fire. I think that was Lac de Vallon. Yeah, I think there was a video a while back, I use a candle to start a fire. I quite often do that. Even just adding a couple of degrees to, believe me, if you put that into something with some type of wick, you've got a tiny bit of wick going through the middle of there. If I was in a real tight stretch and I was, say, wrapped in an emergency blanket, that would give you an extra couple of degrees. That would go across really nicely. And next up, tin foil. Tin foil's brilliant. You can use it for everything. So for wrapping something in, carrying, obviously that goes without saying. Then imagine moments like now, you've got a lot of snow. Very difficult to find an area that's dry where you can start and base your fire from. So if I was to lay a bit of that tin foil out on the floor, perfect. I can also just make a bowl shape, line it then with the foil. I could then boil some water in there, not a problem. Yeah, there are a lot of different ways that you can use tin foil. I would say that is one of the most useful things you can have. Tin foil, really good. Couple of the chicken sticks. You can use them to peg things out, you can use them to line off, you can use them for a variation of different things, but I mean, it's quite easy to make those in the wild, to be honest. They'll take about a minute each, if that. But it's always nice to have them there. And like I say, when you're in the wild, you're not throwing anything. If you can use something, you're going to use it. Next up, we just got this ring to a can. So I've just clipped it off here and turned it around. Usually if you sharpen this little edge bit, you can use that as a little fishing hook. Also, you can use this, if you don't cut it, you can use it as a 10 liner or whatever they're called, to put 2 cords into one either side. Really cool. You can use it for hanging things, carrying things. If I was to now hang that on a slight bit of branch, I could then hold my coat on it or something like that overnight to keep it off the floor, to keep it out of obviously the moisture, the wet areas. Then next up, this jar, really good. You can probably imagine I can keep anything in that. Any type of container is gold. It's gold. It's almost as useful as the tinfoil in that regards. But yeah, any type of pot, especially a nice glass one like this. It's not too big. So for me, that's quite a nice fitting size where you could, if you've got even deep pockets in your jacket, you could even carry that in there. And it's obviously you don't want to have to carry all of this in your hands. So again, trying to find somewhere where you can put it, carry it. Maybe you'd wrap it in the tinfoil, make like a small package, then wrap it in bark or something like that, and then make a type of bag or something. Or you could chuck it all in there. Just a sandwich bag, nothing special. I would go a bit more into detail with a sandwich bag, but I want to do it with this pasta bag. So basically, this is what I had the pasta in yesterday. I've got a little clip on this. Always comes in handy, but this literally perfect for carrying water. People wouldn't even think that. So look at that. If you're in a dire situation, imagine now I was going to leave here and I wanted to boil up a load of water, fill it up to here, tie that around it and just hang it off my bag. There we are, we've got fresh, viable water everywhere we go. Also, I can carry other things in there. I can carry fire materials, any type of bark or tinder that's going to help me at a later time, whether it be today, tomorrow, so on and so forth. So basically, whenever you're in a survival situation, whenever I do my long 10, 15, 20, so on and so forth day trips, what I'm always looking at from day one is what I can then use going on. So I'm trying to build up as I'm going through. And believe me, in nature, you will find enough rubbish. And I do like to moan about it, but at the same time, it can come really, really in a good, it can come in handy, basically, when you're in the wild and you've got nothing else and you come across an old can and you manage to get the ring off and go for a little fish. Yeah. It can be nice. But yeah, anyways, you'll always find stuff in the wild. So obviously what you take, anything that you got on your person, anything that you can find, you can use it. And usually by the time I come to the end of them long trips, I'm kind of thinking, gosh, like where did I accumulate all of this from? Because I can't believe it. I'll go with an empty bag and I'll come back and it's rammed full of stuff. And yeah, it's really, really cool. And then obviously you can make things, so on and so forth. But when it comes to using anything that you've got in your vicinity, in your area, for me, that is the real core of survival. In a big emergency, you could easily picklock that, but not necessary when they've got one open next door. You can actually do that in a lot of places, you know, if you were in a proper survival scenario, not out of choice. Yeah, you could obviously use any facility that you come across if it is a case of life and death, so that's always good to know. Quite a lot of the snow is cleared now. Just heading off. Farewell to this little area. Absolute pleasure to stay there. I left put a bit of orange peel in the fire before just to give a nice smell in there. Left some embers burning in the fire, so if anyone goes there it's nice and warm. left a candle and a bit of my little fruit and nut mix. So I thought if anyone goes there, you never know, some people may be in a position where they need it, some people may not. It is what it is, but it's always nice to think that if I was to stumble across there, I would have wished that somebody had done the same thing for me before. So yeah, always nice to leave it there if you don't necessarily need it. So as I'm heading home, that'll be a nice little treat for somebody else. Well, we're back in amongst it. I am going to stick to the trail today, just to get as much filming and things done. And yeah, I got a nice casual walk down. I'm not pushed for time like I was yesterday, so there will be no worrying today. Just a nice casual hike down. Majestic. So many needle trees down here. Really good for teas they are. I'm not certain, but I do believe I may have hiked through the last of the snow there. Been a nice morning. Just head down and hiking there actually. Just kind of losing my trail of thought in between there, just in my own little world, enjoying the beautiful views. I think we may have had some campers here a while back. Not sure if you can see that top mountain peak going up there so much now. Beautiful views. So it's always, or usually, quicker coming down than going up. But you always, and I know I've said it before, but you've always got to stay vigilant. You have so many stones and things, and especially where the snow was there, you have a lot of ice that's glazed over, and if you slip and yeah, hit your head, anything, you're really putting yourself in a position of well, of peril, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, here's not so bad. I'm on a proper trail, so maybe someone will luckily come and see me. But with the amount of ice that we have there, you're only going to have occasional ski shoers doing a shoeing or whatnot up there. So maybe a bit of cross-country skiing, but I'm not so certain that so many people, I mean, I've not seen anyone yet today here. I did see a couple of people at the bottom yesterday on the way back down. So yeah, basically just stay very alert. You don't want to make a nice day of hiking turn into a casualty episode. Eventually I did just bump into two people, lovely couple, just heading up to sleep at the spot that I've just left. So it was nice to yeah, to see them, and I mentioned to them that I'd stay there. It'll be nice and warm when they arrive. I've left a little bit of firewood, some of the nuts and things. So yeah, really nice couple. Hope they enjoy their evening there. So you can see there all of the water that literally just runs through the path. So as you can imagine, during colder times, it's not so cold now, we're halfway through February, but in the colder times that will ice over, becomes very difficult to walk on them places. And yeah, as I say, you have to obviously then take something else into account. So maybe you'll put tracks on your shoes, or you'll go shoeing, or something along these lines, just to keep yourself in a good position and keep yourself flourishing and safe in them areas and able to move through. Because when it is very deep snow, as I was in last night, you get to the point where it's very heavy, it's very difficult to walk, to maneuver. So yeah, you can find yourself becoming very lethargic and struggling to continue at the same speed that you usually would. And just there you can see that stone's glistening. Whoa. Yeah, and it can be really difficult to traverse all of that, but every situation that comes to you in a scenario like this, when you're out in areas like this, you then obviously take into account what you're going to do. So I've made braces out of wood before, things like this, to obviously combat and to be able to keep moving through it with a bit more traction than I had previously. So it all comes with experience. It's really cool. And one thing that I love about it is you never know what's around the corner. So 1 minute wood is your base for a shelter, next minute it's your fire, next minute it's a pair of braces helping you walk across. So yeah, in the wild it just throws up a surprise every time. And this stream, you can see it literally just keeps going. This water is glacier quality. Just going through the small little village of Fag, one of those. Just gonna have a pear. Love to get my good amount of fruit in. You are what you eat and all of that. There's a bit of a clearer view of the peaks. Mind the noise. Got all the mountains. Honestly, I'm so lucky to live here. You just got mountains everywhere. What I say, luck, you make it happen, don't you? But just a beautiful spot. So it gets really misty, but yeah, this, as we've said before, this is towards the start. The start is a little bit further back, but anyway, you got all these mountain ranges and they literally just go all the way up through Jura. So passing between France, Switzerland at times, and up towards Germany. Yeah, it's one of the best mountain ranges I've ever been to in my life. Incredible. So yeah, if ever you get a chance, find yourself in Switzerland, France, Germany, yeah, have a think to yourself, do I have a few days to spare? Pop up to the Jura, because you will be treated with some incredible views. So I thought I'd take a little stroll through this little village instead of around it, just to show you all this lovely, beautiful little place. That looks lovely. Nice, nice. So that is officially the start of the Jura. If ever you come across a couple of these, be careful. There could be a psychopath in your area. You don't want to get nerfed down out here. There's a couple more. I need to watch my step out here. Over here you can see Selev. You come across, got the start of Jura, and she goes all the way up there. That's cool. Got some cool abandoned buildings there. Used to love exploring them with my mates when we were younger. Throw that away into nature and it's got your name and address on it. I'm going to leave you with that amazing view today. We'll now take the bus and head back to mine. Thank you for watching.